By now everyone knows that the coronavirus relief bill has passed. But I can already tell you that the Republicans are not happy about it, especially the Republican that I'm going to be talking about in this week's segment of the Republicans being hypocrites. And that Republican I'm talking about today is Ms. Lindsey Graham, Republican Senator of South Carolina. I'm going to have some fun. Lindsey Graham. Well, let's remind everyone who Lindsey Graham was. For one thing, he was a staunch anti-Trumper. Here are some examples.
What's your reaction to hearing what Donald Trump says?
Disgusted. Well, I want to talk to the Trump supporters for a minute. I don't know who you are, and I don't know why you like this guy. I think what you like about him, he appears to be strong when the rest of us are weak. He's a very successful businessman, and he's going to make everything great. He's going to take all the problems of the world and put them in a box and make your life better. That's what he's selling. Here's what you're buying. He's a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot. He doesn't represent my party. He doesn't represent the values that the men and women who wear the uniform are fighting for. I've been in the Air Force for 33 years. I retired this June. He's the ISIL Man of the Year, by the way. Just got back from Iraq a week ago this Monday.
I know, we interviewed you live from there. You were with Senator John McCain, and you were going into Iraq to get a status report. What were they saying there about all of this?
The military leadership and the diplomatic corps. Now, we have young men and women in harm's way all over the world, particularly in the Mideast. They were concerned about this rhetoric because the enemy will use it against us. So what was a concern last week has to be DEFCON 4 this week. Because what Mr. Trump is doing, and I don't think he has a clue about anything, he's just trying to get his numbers up and get the biggest reaction he can. He's putting our soldiers and diplomats at risk. He's empowering the enemy. And this ban, if it's actually enacted, would take people who have been interpreters, who came to our side in Iraq and Afghanistan, who are under siege in their own countries, and basically becomes a death sentence for them.
You're saying he's empowering the enemy.
Yes.
You draw a direct line between his rhetoric and what, recruitment for ISIS?
Yeah, they use that to turn the region against us. Our diplomats and military commanders were very worried when the guy was going to burn the Koran. Remember that, the guy in Florida? Yep. I've been there 36 times. I can tell you that most Muslims, most people in the faith, reject this radical ideology. The reason we'll win this war is because very few fathers and mothers want to turn their daughters over to ISIL. The way you win the war, just don't kill terrorists. You invest in the lives of others. Young people in the Mideast are less sectarian. That's where we should be investing. Giving a young woman a voice about her children in the Mideast is the ultimate antidote to terrorism. That's how you win the war. A hopeful life versus a glorious death. And what Mr. Trump is doing is undercutting everything we stand for. He's undercutting how you win the war. He's empowering the enemy, and he's putting people at risk who are serving our country. Now, he's never served. Going to a military high school, Donald, is really not military service. You've never worn the uniform. You've never been on a forward operating base. You've never been at a PRT as a member of the Department of Justice or the Department of State. You've never been a USAID worker going into some devastated poor area in Iraq and Afghanistan trying to help our country by helping others. So knock it off. You're putting people at risk. He is empowering radical Islam, and if you knew anything about the world at all, you would know that most Muslims reject this ideology, and they've died by the thousands trying to combat this radical ideology. You're undercutting their efforts. You're slandering their sacrifice. You're marginalizing what they're trying to do to make the world a better place. You know how you win this war? You side with people in the faith who reject this ideology, which is 99%. And you know how you make America great again? Tell Donald Trump to go to hell.
Wow. Calling him the ISIL Man of the Year. Implicating that his rhetoric, his anti-Muslim rhetoric, was being used in order to help the terrorists. Wow. Just wow. Now, how did this change? Oh, matter of fact, here's some more.
That he's a jackass.
Really?
That he's bringing his name down and he's not helping the process. and he shouldn't be commander-in-chief. If you want to be commander-in-chief of the armed forces, you need to understand that John McCain and all like him, not just John, are truly American heroes. And then when you put yourself in harm's way, that makes you a hero. But you know what I think makes you a hero? When you're the spouse raising kids when your loved one's deployed. I've been in the military for 33 years. It truly is a team and a family. Mm-hmm. So what he said about John, I think, was offensive. He's becoming a jackass at a time when we need to have a serious debate about the future of the party and the country. We're on the verge of giving an Iranian Ayatollah, who's a radical jihadist, a pathway to a nuclear bomb. The world is literally falling apart. We're becoming Greece here at home. And all we're talking about is Donald Trump and everybody he insults. But he's crossed the line here. There may be some frustration with our border. I get that. That's no justification for slandering on it. Huh?
What's the line he crossed?
Saying that John McCain and people like him are not American heroes. The American people will not tolerate what he is doing now regarding those who have served. This is a line he's crossed, and this is the beginning of the end of Donald Trump.
You called Donald Trump a jackass? You called him a jackass? You called Donald Trump a jackass? But then that was 5 years ago, so I shouldn't take too much, I shouldn't read too much into it. You called Donald Trump a jackass. You called him a jackass. Now, let's fast forward to when Donald Trump was actually elected president.
Keep it up, Donald. I'm sure you're watching. I couldn't be more proud of the fact that he talks to me and he asks my opinion. And we've got a lot in common now. I like him and he likes him. President Trump, if he can lead us to ending the Korean War after 70 years and getting North Korea to give up their nuclear program in a verifiable way, deserves the Nobel Peace Prize and then some.
Whoa. Just wow. That changed big time, wasn't it? Now, I could probably say that he changed his mind because he wanted to work for the country. No, it wasn't about the country. It was about kissing Donald Trump's ass. And he was a master ass kisser at that. And as for him ending the Korean War, really? Having the North Koreans end their nuclear program? That didn't happen. And he wasn't given the Nobel Peace Prize. My God, man, you really are a whore for this guy, aren't you? But then it goes way beyond supporting Donald Trump because he's the president.
President Trump should not concede. There's a civil war brewing. I don't really accept the outcome of the Georgia election.
This guy was a whore for him. But I'll give him a little bit of credit. Because even after the January 6th attack, the terrorist attack that tried to overthrow our government under the orders of Donald Trump, his mentor, his master, he did the decent thing.
Trump and I, we've had a hell of a journey. I hate it being this way. Oh my God, I hate it. All I can say is count me out. Enough is enough. I, above all others in this body, need to say this. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are lawfully elected.
As I said earlier, I'll give him a small smidget of credit for that. If it wasn't for the fact that he, like his Republican colleagues, actually tried to incite and support this insurrection. And the ultimate support of that insurrection was the fact that he let go and let off the hook Donald Trump, the man who incited that insurrection.
The not guilty vote is growing after today. I think most Republicans found the presentation by the House managers offensive and absurd. Why don't we impeach George Washington? He owned slaves. I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to end the impeachment trial because I think it's blatantly unconstitutional.
So instead of acting as an American, you let a terrorist go free. You might as well let Osama bin Laden go free. You might as well let Timothy McVeigh go free. That's how destructive you are in this particular case, Graham. And instead of walking away from Donald Trump, you're breaking your back trying to kiss his ring. Among other things, I could pretty much guess.
There's something about Trump. There's a dark side and there's some magic there. And what I'm trying to do is just harness the magic. To me, Donald Trump is sort of a cross between Jesse Helms, Ronald Reagan, and P.T. Barnum. I mean, it's just this bigger than life deal. He could make the Republican Party something that nobody else I know could make it. It could make it bigger. He could make it stronger. He could make it more diverse. And he also could destroy it.
Wow. He can do all that for the Republican Party? So why didn't he do anything of note other than let a virus hit this country, killing hundreds of thousands of Americans? But he can do all that for the Republican Party? Why didn't he save America from this virus? Why didn't he do anything to help Americans? I almost forgot. You don't want to help Americans either. And when the COVID bill actually did pass earlier today, you went on television and called it reparations?
Let me give you an example of something that really bothers me. In this bill, if you're a farmer, your loan will be forgiven up to 120% of your loan, not 100%, but 120% of your loan if you're socially disadvantaged, if you're African American, some other minority. But if you're white person, if you're a white woman, no forgiveness. That's reparations.
So not only are you a Trump whore, Graham, you are a racist. But I shouldn't be surprised at someone like you being a racist, Graham. Just listening to the tone of your voice makes me feel like I'm listening to a Klansman. Fact of the matter is, you don't want to help Americans. You don't want to help the people. The bill for the coronavirus pandemic that helps millions of Americans who probably still don't have jobs. Farmers in your damn state of South Carolina that need the help. And you haven't done a damn thing to help them. The way I see it, this shows that this is just further evidence in my book that you and the rest of the Republican Party don't care about this country. Don't care about the things you espouse. Freedom, justice, equal treatment under the law. And you're willing to sell all of that out for Donald Trump. And there you have it. Lindsay, you, like the rest of the Republican Party, are a bunch of hypocrites. You want to scream about you loving this country and doing everything you can to make it safe and strong. And in Donald Trump's words, your mentor, your master, your pimp, make it great again. And his 2020 campaign phrase, keep America great. Well, you failed on both counts. So, Graham, my advice to you is don't try to go for re-election. Get yourself a good lawyer, because sooner or later, now that the Attorney General has been confirmed by the Senate, Merrick Garland, sooner or later, that investigation into January 6th is going to be pointed at you. Not to mention the fact that you're under investigation for that phone call to the Georgia Secretary of State, just like Trump. If I were you, I would be sizing myself a jail cell right next to him, because you guys are going to get to love each other the rest of your miserable lives. And it's coming. No doubt about it. CTP, know the truth. God bless. Peace to the left. Justice to the right.